Hey, hello, and welcome to my channel. If you're new here, I mostly talk about Stanley Kubrick films and the themes in them. And as you can see from the title today, we're talking about Dr. Strangelove, one of Kubrick's black and white films from 1964. And one of the themes that just kind of jumped out at me while I was watching it is all of the gambling references that are in this film. At least I noticed them, and I think there might be a reason why. So let's take a look at it. Now, very briefly, Dr. Strangelove is a sort of political commentary and a comedy, and is really about the Cold War era paranoia that existed between the US and the Soviet Union, which is what Russia was called then in the 1950s and 60s, and in particular, fears of a nuclear conflict between the two. And a warplane, a B-52 bomber, is sent to drop a bomb on Russian territory after mistakenly being given the codes to do so. Now, here we see one of the soldiers on the B-52 bomber plane, and he is very clearly shuffling what appears to be two decks of cards. The gambling reference is obvious here, and it's literally high-stakes gambling with a powerful hydrogen bomb on board the plane. Also, Ace of Hearts seems to be the top card showing. This guy is pretty good at shuffling cards, and he and the crew are going to receive a serious code that will send them on a mission to actually drop one of the bombs. Except it's all a mistake, but no one can seem to contact them to stop the plane. Then we get to what's known as the War Room, where the president and the high ranking generals and military people are discussing possible fallout from this bomber mission. Now, if you look to the left above the other general, you get a glimpse of some numbers on the wall, which we'll be seeing more clearly later. I'm calling this the bingo board because I feel it's very reminiscent of a bingo card, which is, of course, another form of gambling. Also, notice this war room table as seen from above. The lighting ring feels very similar to the outer ring of a roulette wheel where the ball is rolled around from. And the table itself, being round, also gives a feeling of being possibly a poker table or some other kind of gaming table. Again, there's gambling references here, which I think were done on purpose. Also, here, where they are talking about how to get the planes back and that there are 17,000 different codes they need to go through to find the right one, feels a bit like a lottery where you have to pick the right number, but with a very small chance of winning.
9 packs of chewing gum, 1 issue of prophylactics, 3 lipsticks, 3 pair of nylon stockings.
Shoot, a fella could have a pretty good weekend in Vegas with all that stuff.
Now, back on our B-52 bomber plane, the pilots are going through their quote-unquote survival pack that contains various things, including a weapon and some medication, as well as a tiny Bible and some money, which includes $100 of gold. In addition, there are also some condoms, to which our lead pilot says that a guy could have a pretty good weekend in Vegas with all that stuff. Of course, Vegas is the most famous gambling city in the world. Now, here's a much better shot of what I'm calling the bingo board. You can see it to the right of actor Peter Sellers, in this shot playing the title character of Dr. Strangelove. And it's very similar to an actual bingo board. You see rows of numbers, and to the left of that, what really appears like 3 bingo cards on the wall, or at least the graphic has a similar appearance to a bingo card. And it seems fitting that right above that you can see a map of the world, since this game of bingo is being played out on the geopolitical stage. In the last and most famous scene in the film, our B-52 is trying to drop their bomb but are having a malfunction. So the lead pilot decides to take matters into his own hands and launch the bomb. He tries to fix the problem, but in the end, he literally ends up riding the bomb as it drops, whooping and hollering all the way, like he's actually happy and excited about it. I think this scene actually embodies the attitude some gamblers have when they're winning big. That attitude of let it ride or go for broke, an all or nothing attitude. And our last scene in the film is literally bombs exploding. Well, to sum up, I feel like there are obviously a few references to gambling and also to the attitude or mindset of a gambler that we can see in this film. We actually see cards being shuffled on a warplane that is carrying a bomb to be dropped. This is pretty explicitly a very high stakes game that is being played. There are also other visual cues with the war room table that might resemble either a roulette wheel or a poker table. But since this is such an important set in the film, I think it backs up our idea of the gambling references being a major theme here. And the bingo board is also in the war room. And also, there are many references to the mindset or attitude of gamblers here, from Major Jack D. Ripper in the beginning of the film, who has an almost unhinged personality, even when dealing with the highest stakes, to our lead pilot, played so well by Slim Pickens, who embodies the more excited, happy, and exuberant attitude some gamblers have when they are on a roll and winning big and literally want to let it ride. In this case, quite literally. Well, that's my new video about all the gambling references in Dr. Strangelove. Hope you liked it. I'm definitely working on something new for next week, and I hope to have that up soon. And also, thank you for the great comments. I always enjoy seeing them. Also, it would help my channel if you did hit that subscribe button. But either way, my name is Shim. Thank you for spending time with me, and have a great day.
You sell the guy, hey, you war machine, boy.
Gentlemen, you can't fight in here. This is the war room. What is going on here? I demand an explanation.